Nick, how much was there a defensive emphasis based on the Utah State second half?
There was a big emphasis. I think that we weren't happy with how we played in the second half, especially. So the last couple of days of practice, we had a big emphasis on trying to get put stops together, get consecutive stops, and finishing possessions with rebounds. And I feel like this team is a good team. I told the guys before the season, especially younger guys, like it's easy to get up for the first game of the season or Maryland or NC State, but teams like Georgia State, who I picked to win their conference, who are super talented, these are going to be the tough ones. These are the games that you got to really bring it in. I was very happy with how we played today, especially defensively.
How much did the first 7 minutes set the tone defensively?
Yeah, absolutely. I think guys really brought a lot of energy. Isaiah, Jacob, those guys are really flying around out there, making it hard for them. And again, it was important for us to get a lot of stops and get and hold them in check because again, we know how explosive these guys were. So the first 7 minutes were really good.
The depth was certainly on display. You included tonight. I wonder how it feels coming off the bench for you.
Doesn't really make a difference, honestly. It's just basketball at the end of the day. Whatever they ask me to do, I'm gonna try to do it to the best of my ability.
Thank you.
I know it's one game, but is this like a glimpse of what Spider fans should be accustomed to seeing? The talent that's on this team and how you guys, like you said, when you all come together, this is what can be on the floor. Yeah,
absolutely. I think again, we know what kind of team we have. We know the talent we had, and the first two games I don't think we're indicative of how we're going to play the rest of the season. But I think sometimes it's easy to have knee-jerk reactions to early season games and stuff like that. Obviously, we wanted to beat Utah State and we wanted to play better against NC Central, but season doesn't end now, and it's a long season. There's still so much basketball left to be played, so we just got to keep putting together good efforts. And tonight's a good start.
You got into a rhythm early with those couple of threes in that, and then a 3-point play in like a 5 or 6 minute span. Was it just how they played you? They played off you a little bit. The first shot was going out, gave you some confidence in the game.
I just wanted to be aggressive. I feel like I hadn't been super aggressive the first couple of games. I was getting looks, but I think I was taking them with the confidence that I should. And I just feel like tonight, just coming out, I was going to shoot the shots that I felt were good shots for me and for the team, and just want to shoot it with confidence. And fortunate that, especially early, I was able to get it going. And then again, we had a great shooting night. Matt played really well. Tyler shooting the ball well. So again, it's just good for me to come out there and play aggressive. And I just got to keep doing that.
How do you balance that coming off the bench, being aggressive, but also trying to get everybody else involved?
I think for me, coming off the bench especially, I think my job is coming and just give a spark, especially offensively. I think guys know I can score, and they've been giving me confidence to keep shooting and stuff. So for me, coming off the bench, I mean, a lot of guys' mindsets might change, but for me, it was more of a positive shift. It was just I got to come out here and be super aggressive. The team needs me to come in and score, give me a lift offensively, rebound, do all that kind of stuff. So just glad it worked out in the first game.
Is taping this down? Is that COVID protocol?
It is COVID.
Yeah. Okay. Well, obviously, I'm very surprised that the lead was able to grow to that. Pleasantly surprised that the lead was able to get to that high. I think Georgia State is a really good team. They didn't play their best tonight. We had a great game. But it was much more, the lead grew to much higher than I would have expected. So I'm really pleased with how we played. I thought we started the game defensively far better than our first two games. We were very aggressive and assertive, and I thought that was the key. And then once the game got going, we were pretty potent on offense. So really pleased with the win and looking forward to Saturday's game.
Coach Mooney, you spoke a little bit yesterday about the depth you would like to use more. I wonder what you saw tonight and maybe what you learned about that bench.
Well, Nick being on the bench tonight certainly gives it even more pop. But yeah, we have good players. Not only did the 4 seniors returning help us in that they're here, but that has made for guys who would, now be starters in their career or, certainly good enough to be in that role. Now they're coming off the bench. So, I mean, we have really good players. Matt was terrific tonight. He's a good player, a matchup problem, a good defender, a very good shooter and passer. Nick coming off the bench. Connor Crabtree is a guy who's, started most of his games his freshman year a few years ago at Tulane. So there's depth of talent. I think we saw some glimpses of Jai Bailey tonight, who I think is going to be great. His athleticism, his sense for the game, his defense. So, we're we're certainly in good shape in that department, and we need to continue to have games where they come in and, they had 45 points tonight off the bench. I can't imagine that's not a record for. But we could just need to continue to build on that in terms of their contribution and not shy away from it.
Your decision to start Isaiah, I presume, had something to do with their high scoring guards.
Yeah, they basically play a couple of point guards, and even in this, kind of pre-scouting in the summer or the fall, we kind of knew that in this game our lineup would have to change. So, but I tell you what, Isaiah gave us a huge lift defensively. I thought a big part of the reason we started the game so well defensively was because of his ball pressure and being so aggressive. So that was really good, because I thought we were good on offense early, but then the more and more our defense was good, then I thought we really were great on offense for most of the game.
Thank you.
John kind of stole my thunder with the bench question, but I'll ask it in a different way. I know this is just one game, but how far down the bench can you go and feel comfortable that the productivity won't drop as much?
Yeah, pretty far. And then, Andre Gustafson hasn't played yet. So, and Andre's probably started 40 games at Richmond and played a lot of minutes in his career. So really far, I think really highly of Jai Bailey. He's the kind of player that we've always loved here, because he's versatile and can do things and has a great sense and is athletic. And when Andre gets back, he's someone who's been very trusted during the course of his career. So I feel like they all can play and contribute. And I mentioned, the other day, it's going to be a balance that I'm not sure we're ever going to reach perfectly, because there are just so many minutes in a game. But we're going to try, and it's going to make for competitive practices, which is going to make everybody better. And hopefully those guys can continue to get in there and help.
Guys, anything else for Coach?
You have a word or two about Drake. Obviously a very talented team.
Yeah.
2-0, tough place to play, long way to go.
Yeah. Well, we talked to the guys. I mean, you mentioned that I think Georgia State is picked to win the Sun Belt. Drake's picked to win their conference.
Right.
Hofstra is really good and was beating Houston by 15 the second half, then Maryland. So, it's a hard schedule designed that way for a reason. I think our guys have not shied away from it at all. And, but this is a real test to go on the road. Again, we're in a position that's just different from what other teams trying for the same thing that we are. It's just different to go on the road and play this level of a team in November is a great opportunity for us, but certainly rare for some other teams.